Nicole Critch, St. John's, Newfoundland. Continuing with missing children and burial information. Number 71. We call upon our chief coroners and provincial vital statistics agencies that have not provided the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada their records on the deaths of Aboriginal children in the care of residential school authorities to make these documents available to the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation. Number 72. We call upon the federal government to allocate sufficient resources to the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation to allow it to develop and maintain the National Residential School Student Death Register established by Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada. Number 73. We call upon the federal government to work with churches, Aboriginal communities, and former residential school students to establish and maintain an online registry of residential school cemeteries, including, where possible, plot maps showing the location of deceased residential school children. Number 74. We call upon the federal government to work with churches and Aboriginal community leaders to inform the families of children who have died at residential schools of child's burial location, and to respond to family wishes for appropriate commemoration ceremonies and markers, and reburial in home communities where requested. Number 75. We call upon the federal government to work with provincial, territorial, and municipal governments, churches, Aboriginal communities, former residential school students, and current landowners to develop and implement strategies and procedures for the ongoing identification, documentation, maintenance, commemoration, and protection of residential school cemeteries and other sites at which residential school children were buried. This is to include the provision of appropriate memorial ceremonies and commemorative markers to honor these deceased children. We call upon the parties engaged in working of documenting, maintaining, commemorating, and protecting residential school cemeteries to adopt strategies in accordance with the principles. Number 1, the Aboriginal community most affected shall lead the development of such strategies. And number 2, the information shall be sought from residential school survivors and other knowledge keepers in the development of such strategies. And lastly, number 3, Aboriginal protocols shall be respected before any potential invasive technical inspection and investigation of a cemetery site.